Hi. I don't know, it's popping up some weird stuff and I don't know what it's asking me to do. Hi, Facebook changes everything on a daily basis and we're trying to always figure it out. I don't understand what you're asking me to do. I, I don't, I don't understand what it's asking me to do. Anyway, hi, it's Tuesday night. And then the sidebar was popping up and it wouldn't go away from like my personal Facebook. And then I got notifications and that it's giving me tips on the bottom. I just wanna live stream and talk about books, Facebook. I don't need all of this nonsense. You know, stop making it complicated. It's Tuesday night. It's time to talk about books. Um, I didn't get as much reading done as I wanted. I actually only got through one of the short stories in A Universe of Wishes, but it was the first story called A Universe of Wishes, and it was so sweet, and it made my heart warm. Um, I might actually read the introduction to you because I shared it with a couple of friends because it I was like, is someone cutting onions in here? Why are my eyes leaking? And it just really nicely shares the whole idea of the We Need Diverse Books movement and why, as a librarian, or if you're a teacher, or somebody who is buying books for your loved ones, your friends, whatever, we need so much representation in books. Oh, we can't just have the same character over and over again anymore. We just can't. Man, it's also like really close again. Ooh, okay. Technology, right? I also have several books on my Kindle over here behind me. Um, there's no way I'm gonna get them all done. I don't know why I didn't just deliver later. And I have two other books that I borrowed from work in my work bag. And I was talking to a friend today that I have just become a book hoarder, and so has she. And we enable each other very, very badly. Like the other day, she said to me, "I managed to talk myself out of going to the bookstore." And I said, "Why did you do that? You deserve a book." And the next day, she said, "I got two books." So you know what? Good for you. Why does this? Okay. It used to be able you could like click on the thing and it would tell you what your notification was, and you could click on it again and it would collapse it, but now it keeps going. Anyway, I just got a notification from Marie that she liked this video. Hi, Marie. um, technology. It's been a week. It's only Tuesday. Anyway, I don't have a latte tonight because I only have water because I just finished dinner. I made a really good salmon in a mustard dill cream sauce from one of my favorite cookbooks. I've used it once or twice for book cooks. It's the Primal Gourmet. Um, really, really, really like that cookbook. Um, yeah, totally delicious. Served it over some cauliflower rice, so I got my veggies in, got my healthy fat in, my protein, with some good omega 3s. It was really, really good. I'm like, what's the benefit of salmon? Yeah. Anyway, um, yeah, I feel like you understand what it means to be a book hoarder. What was I saying to my friend? I was saying I have probably three or four books on my Kindle, like adult titles, adult fiction. I have two adult nonfiction hard copies in my book bag, and I have four four young adult hard copy books on my nightstand. And I just took home three more cookbooks to look through for book cooks. I'm a book hoarder and I'm so proud of it. I love books. I like just having them. Uh, um, Let me actually, yeah, I do want to read. You should see my room, my basement. I would love someone to turn my house into a library. Oh. You need to just get a bunch of shelves and organize them how it makes you happy. Mine are alphabetical by author. I did interfile nonfiction with fiction. Did I? Yeah. Because I don't have that much nonfiction in my personal collection. Um, but I feel like, and I feel like you would understand, and anybody out there that I talk to frequently from the library who also talks about how much they love to just have books. I just one day just want to have a room that is just wall to wall to wall bookshelves, and I want like a cute little window seat with lots of pillows and a cozy reading lamp, and that's just what I want. I just want a room that's just full of books and bookshelves. Can you sit there? Are you gonna sit? She's a little wild tonight. No. Oh dear. She's gonna knock everything over right now. Please stop. Stop. You're out of control. I don't know why we're having a weird day today. I can't handle the technology. I'm a little overtired. No, stop. She's very hyper today. She just ate and had her zoomies. If you have a cat, you understand zoomies, and now she's trying to knock everything over. You can't step on that. You can't, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. She's gonna knock everything over. Good luck, Licorice. She's 12 and a half pounds, and she's teetering on this much ledge of couch. She's putting it in reverse now. Oh, she just knocked something over. Why are you doing this to me? Oh my gosh, it's never a dull day around here. Yeah, she's realizing she's made a mistake. Okay, can you come down from here so I can read this lovely introduction to everybody without worrying about you knocking everything over? Okay, so this is the introduction from A Universe of Wishes. As I said last time, there are many, many different young adult authors who all themselves come from diverse identities, backgrounds, cultures, ethnicities. You're gonna sit now? Okay, she's gonna sit and listen. And it was edited and compiled by Danielle Clayton, who wrote, what is it, the Bells series? I haven't read it yet, but it's popular. The Bells, yeah, it's a series. And the co-author of the series Tiny Pretty Things, upon which the Netflix show is based. Um, and so she wrote this little note in the beginning, and I just thought it was so sweet, which is how I got sidetracked and talked about things that I talk about with my friends about book hoarding, because we talked about this forward with my friends. But anyway, it's a really, really nice little blurb here. Um, Dear reader, I was a mess as a teenager, brimming with wishes and wants, spoiled and grumpy, a misfit loner, tiny, mad, and full of so many unanswered questions about this weird world. I'd always felt like I'd ended up in the wrong place, the wrong planet, the wrong time, that one day I'd find my true home. The only thing that made me happy was reading. I'd hide beneath my grandmother's mahogany table with a stack of books, a plate of perfect pink frosted animal cookies, and a glass of sun tea with the right amount of sugar to suit my taste buds. I found my safe space in stories away from all the other teens in my school, away from the mirrors, away from the comments. I fell into fantasy and science fiction books to quench my thirst for other worlds, and read as much as I could get my hands on during weekend trips with Dad to the bookstore and the public library. But after a while, I started to notice that kids who looked like me didn't get to save the world, didn't get grand adventures through fantastical landscapes, didn't get to go to magic camp. My imagination started to shrink. My love of reading dwindled. It felt like a light going out. I was losing the very thing that made me, me. All because I was desperately looking for myself in the pages of the stories I craved. For far too long, some of us have been missing from magical worlds, but not any longer, because The true secret I learned from books is that we all have magic inside us. We all possess the ability to command the failing spaceship, to break the powerful enchantment, and to change our worlds, both fictional and not, for good. The universe is better because we are here, because you are here. So, let's get started. Your grand adventure awaits. And that leads right into all of the stories. So I just thought that was a really, really sweet forward for her to put after compiling all of these authors and stories and voices together. There's a puzzle on my table. I can't put it on my table. That's why I haven't been reading a lot. I was just doing this puzzle this weekend. But that's just such a sweet message, and again, it's one of the reasons why reading is so important, and why I think so many of us love reading for an escape, for a way to visit other worlds, times, situations, cultures, and it is so important with kids, especially, just to make sure that they feel heard and that they have voices similar to their own to connect with. And I absolutely love it. Yeah, I love it too. I love that. I have a couple of new books to share with you. Um, let's see. I have a couple on Libby and a couple up on my screen. Let's open up Libby. I have a bunch of things that I put on hold for myself, of course. So today, I know a lot of people have been waiting for The Paris Library. That came out today. By Janet Skesley and Charles. This has pretty high demand. I put a hold on it too. It was named the most anticipated book of the year by Library Journal and Goodreads, my favorite book place on the internet. Based on the true World War II story of the heroic librarians at the American Library in Paris, this is an unforgettable story of romance, friendship, family, and the power of literature that brings us together. So this is one of those, it takes place partially in Paris, 1939, and partially in Montana, 1983. Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing a lot about it, and I know people are waiting for it. It's gotten some good reviews on Goodreads, of course. People are really excited about it. A powerful novel that explores consequences of our choices and the relationships that make us who we are, family, friends, and favorite authors. The Paris Library shows that extraordinary heroism can sometimes be found in the quietest of places. Yeah, and then the dual timeline thing is becoming more and more popular. There are some people who will tell me they're not looking for dual timeline stories, because all of a sudden it's become so common, and if people don't like it, they don't like it. But I like it, and there are some people who just don't mind. I definitely love the dual timelines when they're done right, when you see why it's been done. It shouldn't be done just because you're like, oh, I have two stories to tell. There needs to be some weaving of threads. There needs to be a purpose for telling both of these stories to complete each other together. And I think some people don't love how it works out, or they're not satisfied by the connections, and a lot of people just love it. It is very trendy right now. So every now and then I'll get a request from somebody, can you find some, books for me? I like this, I like that. Yeah, I'm waiting for The Last Garden in England. I put a hold on it on Libby, and I'm really excited about that one. That one just sounds so interesting. But yeah, sometimes when people say, look, I like this, this, and this, but I don't like dual timelines, and I say to myself, oh no, what you just described fits these books that definitely have dual timelines, so never mind. And then I have to dig a little deeper, but you know how it goes. Let's see, let's go back to my tags for today. Susan Mallory has The Vineyard at Painted Moon. That was released today. Um, it's also available as an audiobook. There's a decent holds ratio on that one. Let's see, what else? What else? This one sounded really interesting. This one came out today. This is called The Burning Girls by C.J. Tudor. This one kind of slipped under my radar a little bit, but when I read the blurb, I thought it sounded interesting. No audiobook as of yet. An unconventional vicar must exorcise the dark past of a remote village haunted by death and disappearances in this explosive and unsettling thriller. A dark history lingers in Chapel Croft. 500 years ago, Protestant martyrs were betrayed, then burned. 30 years ago, two teenage girls disappeared without a trace. And a few weeks ago, the vicar of the local parish hanged himself in the nave of the church. Reverend Jack Brooks, a single parent with a 14-year-old daughter and a heavy conscience, arrives in the village hoping for a fresh start. Instead, Jack finds a town rife with conspiracies and secrets and is greeted with a strange welcome package, an exorcism kit, and a note that warns, "But there is nothing covered up that will not be revealed and hidden that will not be known." The more Jack and daughter Flo explore the town and get to know its strange denizens, the deeper they are drawn into the age-old rifts, mysteries, and suspicions. And when Flo begins to see specters of girls ablaze, it becomes apparent that there are ghosts here that refuse to be laid to rest. Uncovering the truth can be deadly in a village with a bloody past, where everyone has something to hide and no one trusts an outsider. So this, of course, I love looking at the subject headings: fiction, horror, suspense, and thriller. You can always find those down at the bottom of your Libby page of a book. And then if you keep scrolling, you can find other titles by that author. Let's go back up to the top. What are some other ones? I only have a couple. There are some, like bigger. Oh, I can't remember. There were like some other. No, I don't remember. Like bigger releases that I feel like everybody would know about. But Kelly Armstrong has a new one in the Rockton series. It's called A Stranger in Town. And then this one sounded interesting. We don't always have a lot of buzz in our area for fantasy and sci-fi, but every now and then there's one that comes really highly recommended or really has a demand or has a great review that I say we need to add this to our collection to round it out and fill it out. So we don't buy a ton of fantasy and sci-fi, but we get the ones that are best reviewed or have a lot of demand. And this one I thought sounded really interesting. It's called The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornichek. And it's under fiction, fairy tales, folk tales, legends, and mythology. Let's see. When a banished witch falls in love with the legendary trickster Loki, she risks the wrath of the gods in this moving, subversive debut novel that reimagines Norse mythology. Angborda's story begins, the formatting on this is weird sometimes, begins where most witches' tales ends, with a burning. A punishment from Odin for refusing to provide him with knowledge of the future. The fire leads Angborda injured and powerless, and she flees into the farthest reaches of a remote forest. There she is found by a man who reveals himself to be Loki, and her initial distrust of him transforms into a deep and abiding love. Their union produces 3 unusual children, each with a secret destiny, who their mother is keen to raise at the edge of the world, safely hidden from Odin's all-seeing eye. But as she slowly recovers her prophetic powers, she learns that her blissful life, and possibly all of existence, is in danger. With help from the fierce huntress Scotty, with whom she shares a growing bond, she must choose whether she'll accept the fate that she's foreseen for her beloved family or rise to remake their future. From the most ancient tales, this novel forges a story of love, loss, and hope for the modern age. So I just thought that one sounded really interesting. It has a bunch of starred reviews. Um, yeah, hey. And I always love good mythology tie-ins as well. Um, yeah, yes. So today I took a little lunch break and I was reading a little bit during my lunch break, and she stepped on my book and rubbed her face all over my nose. So then I was covered in cat hair, and then I couldn't read anymore, so then I just went back to work. But and now she's just being all, she's doing like the seal arms, and she's just being all so sweet. But every time I try to start to read, she thinks that, just like with the laptop here, she thinks that the open book is for her. If I fits, I sits. Um, yes, hello. So sometimes it's hard to get any reading done with her. She tried to sit on my Kindle the other day when I was reading on my Kindle. I don't even know if I mentioned it last week, but I started going through Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, and I decided not to read it on the Kindle. I felt that the format of it and the wealth of information, I would rather have the physical book. Our copy is checked out right now, so I'm waiting. Yes, big reach. Big reach. Are you even a pet parent if you don't tell your animals, oh, that was a big stretch? Now she's making biscuits on my hand. She's making up for her mischief today. I just felt that the format is really better to browse and to look through in a paper format, but it's really fascinating. I can see why Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat is so popular. It's really informative, and I only got through the salt portion of the book. Which, some of it is stuff that I knew, but the science of it goes way deeper. There are a lot of examples that I wasn't aware of, like how salt reacts with potatoes versus fat versus fish versus this and that and this and that. And I can see how having a firm understanding and using this book, which I know so many home chefs are really into right now, um, really will make you more well-rounded in developing your palate and your dishes. And I've been watching a lot of MasterChef, so this is all just bleeding together. That's been my newest binge watch series, is MasterChef. So that's what I do. That's what I do when I'm eating dinner, is I watch MasterChef. I watch more food while I'm eating food. But yes, I'm waiting for a hard copy of Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat to continue to read. Sometimes those more browsable, not that it's browsable, like you definitely read this one cover to cover, but it's hard to find, okay, so where are the coordinating recipes, and if I want to flip back and forth, it's not organized that well on the Kindle. So that's one I will say for Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, even though it is available on Libby, I'd rather have the hard copy of that one. And this is just why, you gotta love digital and print books. You can't ever fully replace print books. You just can't. Totally can't replace them. And also, I mean, what else would I put on all of my shelves? I mean, I have doodads and this and that, but the books are the best part. All right, I think that's it for me for tonight. Um, Definitely hoping to get through some of my reading this week so I can share some more with you. We I'm gonna make a little flyer of some of the suggested reads that people suggested from the winter reading. People submitted a lot of books, so I'm gonna pull the ones that people liked the most and make a little flyer so you can see kind of what your town peers, what your town community recommends. So I'm going to do that this week as well. Tomorrow I'm making a shrimp dish on Book Cooks. What is the cookbook that I'm using? I don't even. Oh, it's the air fryer cookbook. It's the America's Test Kitchen air fryer cookbook. So I'm using my air fryer toaster oven. It'll be interesting to set up the counter, but we'll work it out. It'll be fine. But it'll be the first time that I've cooked a meat, a protein in the air fryer. Usually I just do sweet potatoes, tater tots. What else have I put in the air fryer? Oh, a couple weeks ago I had ravioli from Trader Joe's. I put those in the air fryer. That came out really good. What else I've been doing a lot of sweet potato fries in the air fryer, like a lot. Kale chips, Brussels sprouts. So this is going to be the first time I've cooked a protein. So we'll see how it goes all together live on Facebook. And I have a bunch of, like I said, I have a bunch of new cookbooks so I can take a look and see what else we're going to cook for the month of February. So that'll be fun. So that's tomorrow at 12. And that is it for me for tonight. I hope that everybody stays nice and warm and cozy. It sure is cold right now, but that's all right. And I wish you all a good night and happy reading, and I will see you all soon. All right. Bye.